Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've had this one for a bit. I didn't want to rush and make a video, but I also don't really need 20 minutes to cover it, so here's a quick take that took a while to get to. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this great discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Alright, enough talk, let's get right into it.
Let's start by delving into the insights shared by our first reviewer.
This reviewer found their new monitor arrived in perfect condition, securely packed in styrofoam despite some dings on the outer box. What really stood out was the inclusion of every possible accessory right out of the gate. It came with both an HDMI and a DisplayPort cable, the power adapter, and even its own screwdriver for assembly, which was a nice touch. The stand itself was apparently quite unique and easy to put together, with a design that reminded our client of a giraffe. While this user ultimately mounted the display on a VESA arm, they noted the included stand was perfectly functional with good tilt. The unit itself has a very sleek and thin profile, yet it feels surprisingly sturdy and well-made. When it came to performance, the picture quality was a real highlight. The colors are better than average and the screen gets impressively bright, but the true game changer for this client was the smoothness. They mentioned that anyone with a powerful gaming PC is seriously missing out if they aren't using a display with such a high refresh rate. In fast-paced competitive games, the experience was incredibly fluid, allowing their hardware to push out extremely high frame rates that the monitor could actually keep up with. Navigating the control panel was simple once they got the hang of the buttons. While the monitor does have built-in speakers, our reviewer noted they weren't very good, but also pointed out that most gamers use headsets anyway, making it a non-issue. Perhaps the most reassuring part of the experience was the customer service. Having a question about the ports, they reached out to the company and received a friendly and helpful response in just a few hours. For a brand they had never heard of, the entire experience from the product's performance to the company's support far exceeded their expectations.
Let's start with our first reviewer's experience.
This reviewer was initially very impressed with the quality of this monitor right out of the box. Our reviewer noted that the stand it came with felt exceptionally durable and had a noticeable sturdiness to it. On a somewhat flimsy desk where their old display would shake at the slightest bump, this one didn't budge at all. A unique feature that also stood out was the plastic cover on the back, designed to conceal the input ports and help with wire management, which was a thoughtful touch they hadn't seen on other screens. The image quality itself was fantastic. The colors were incredibly vibrant and popped, even without any special picture modes being activated. However, after a couple of months of use, this client ran into a bit of trouble. They began to notice the backlight starting to fail at a significant rate. What started as a small, barely noticeable spot near the bottom of the screen eventually spread all the way to the top, with other faulty patches starting to form elsewhere. While this could have been caused by anything from a faulty part to just bad luck, the customer service experience was a highlight. A reviewer contacted the company directly, and even though the retailer's protection period had ended, the manufacturer provided a shipping label to return the damaged unit and sent an entirely new one as a replacement. Normally, an issue this soon would lower a rating, but the company's excellent communication and support left such a positive impression that they still feel it's a 5-star product.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer was genuinely impressed with this gaming monitor. From the moment of unboxing, the experience was surprisingly smooth. It took maybe 15 minutes to get everything set up, and the first thing our reviewer noticed was how surprisingly thin and light the monitor felt. It wasn't like the bulky screens you typically see, but it still felt incredibly sturdy and well-made, which was a pleasant surprise. But the real test came when our reviewer turned it on. The image quality was described as stunning, with beautiful, crisp visuals. The upgrade from a 144Hz screen to this monitor's 240Hz refresh rate made a noticeable difference, particularly in fast-paced games like Valorant and Apex. This client mentioned that aiming and movements felt significantly smoother. A quick note for anyone considering this monitor: remember to adjust the refresh rate in your Windows settings to actually utilize the 240Hz capability. Otherwise, you'll be stuck at 60Hz. Also, this client tested all the available ports and found that they all worked without issue. Finally, our reviewer talked about value, and that's where this monitor really shines. The fact that all the display ports are capable of pushing 240Hz, assuming your computer can handle it, is a huge plus. The previous monitor only supported 144Hz through the display port, not HDMI. The bezel-less design is a nice touch too, fitting perfectly on the desk and giving it a modern look. Our reviewer concluded that, for the price, this is the best monitor he/she has ever purchased, giving it a perfect score for value.
That's all for now. If you found this useful, hit like and subscribe. Let's talk in the comments. See you in the next video.